Well guys and girls, it's Usernamekate and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a walk around video on Suzuki's V-Strom 800DE. So if you're interested in it, I'll roll the intro and I'll see you after it. Today I am bringing you guys a walk round of Suzuki's V-Strom 800DE. Now this is a fresh adventure bike to hit Suzuki's range with a fresh engine, something that is shared with one of their new middleweight nakeds as well, the GSX 8S. So it's a pretty interesting bike. Now in the past I have ridden the V-Strom 1050 before it's been updated for this year. So I'm going to do a walk round of this bike, talk you through all the new and exciting specs that this bike has. But before we go any further, firstly, I just want to say a massive thank you to BikeShare. Now they are a channel sponsor. They allow me to bring you these reviews, the rides, the adventures, the trips, full time. So if you guys do happen to be in the market for insurance, BikeShare are a specialist insurance broker. They've been operating for around 30 years, so they know what they're doing. And if you have anything that is weird, wacky, wonderful, they basically will have a policy for your needs. So, like I said, if you're in the market, check out the link in the description. That is where you'll find all the information on how to contact them. And if you mention Usernamekate, you might even get a cheeky little bit of discount, which is always quite nice. So, without further ado, let's get on with the walk round. Suzuki's V-Strom 800DE starts from £10,499 and is available in 3 different colours. So the first colour that it's available in is the glass matte mechanical grey. Bloody hell, Suzuki's colours are always an absolute mouthful. And that is the colour that you will see Lamb Chop Rides riding on at the minute. He has the 800DE in that colour. So if you want to check that bike out in that specific colour in more detail, check out Chopsy's vids. Then we have it, how you see here, in Champion Yellow number 2. And then finally we have Glass Sparkle Black, which in my opinion looks a little bit odd on the photos, on the photo that I show on the screen right now, but I am intrigued to see it in real life because there's a lot going on with the black, the gold and the purpley blue. So let's dig a little bit deeper into its engine. We have a 776cc parallel twin. It does rock a 280-degree crank to mimic that 90-degree V-twin roar and rumble. The engine produces 81.7 brake horsepower and 78 Newton meters of torque. If we zoom in and take a little look at the chassis, we have a rigged steel frame. So this iteration of the V-Strom has had a little bit of a facelift. We have the hexagonal, I want to say, stacked LED headlights on the front, which is a very unique look, but it is one that I actually do quite like. And we have LED lights all around in general, from the tail light to the indicators. Again, looking at the aesthetic, I feel like from the V-Strom 650, everything's got a little bit sharper, a little bit tighter. It looks a little bit more modern, and I definitely feel that the 800 is a good addition to the V-Strom family. If we look at the tank has a 20-litre capacity, which I think is acceptable for an adventure bike. One of the things that I'm really glad Suzuki did was put a 21-inch front wheel on this bike. It's definitely a more off-roady biased size, but it's also, you know, pretty good on the road as well, so I think it is a nice compromise. Now let me tell you, looking at these spoked wheels compared to the V-Strom 1050 that I rode last year, these wheels look so much more easy to clean. The ones on the older 1050 were bloody murder. You could never get in them and they were just a nightmare, to be quite frank. But this is much improved. Then if we look at the back, we have a 17-inch rear, and again, we've just got lovely spoke wheels. So yeah, good call, Suzuki. Moving on to the suspension. So at the front, we have Showa upside down forks, full adjustability, which is a real nice touch. And we also have 220mm of travel. With the rear suspension, I'm trying to look for some branding, but I'm not seeing any, but it is a single shock that is preload adjustable. Now, one of the things about the suspension on this bike is from factory, it's set very, very soft. Now, let me show you what I mean. If I just lean against the bike very gently, look at that. That's me just nudging it with my hip. It's so soft. And to be quite honest, I rode this bike back from Milton Keynes back to Manchester, and the soft suspension was actually really beautiful on the motorway. It actually made quite a nice change from the suspension on the GSX 8S, which I returned and got this in place of. And yeah, it's a proper plush and soft suspension, which for the touring side of things, I really liked. I'm yet to do any kind of off-roading on this yet, so you know, the suspension straight out the box, it'll be interesting to kind of see how that is. However, we've got full adjustability on the front and we can adjust the preload on the rear. So I'm sure whatever you fancy, whatever your preference with regards to suspension setup, I'm sure you can get it pretty dialed in. Stopping power on this Suzuki, if we look at the front, we have two 4-piston radially mounted front Nissan calipers with two 310mm discs. Then if we take a look at the rear, we have a 1-pot pin slide caliper, which again utilises a 260mm disc. Technology. Focusing on that, this bike has a slipper clutch. It has low RPM assist, which is almost like a bit of an anti-stall mechanism. So that means it's great for newer riders. And tying in with newer riders, this bike is A2 compliant, so you can ride it on an A2 license, which means that Suzuki are opening up actual, genuine off-roady adventures to a newer market that the 1050 can't accommodate. I kind of feel like the 800DE is more of a serious off-roader in comparison to the 650 V-Strom, so it is nice that Suzuki are opening the doors for the A2 rider, who is generally a bit newer, potentially a bit younger. Not saying that's always the case, but it's nice that they get the option now of something that can be taken seriously if they want to dabble into the green laning off-road life, whilst also having a nice little commuter or tourer if they need it. Suzuki have their quick start button as well, so you can fire it up on the touch of a button. You don't need to press and hold it for it to kick in. It's literally just a press and go. One of the things that this bike doesn't have is cruise control, which I know can be a bit of a disappointment to, you know, serious tourers that want to travel around, you know, and do many miles on this thing. Doesn't have it. So yeah, you're not going to be able to give your old right-hander a bit of a rest. The screen is quite small and it's non-adjustable, but there are accessories, genuine Suzuki accessories, to combat that. So now I'm going to talk you guys through the dash in a bit more detail, and we're going to explore its functionality. Okay guys, we're going to have a look at the dash. So we switch her on, you have that nice big Suzuki S, and then that is what it looks like. So as you can see, the big blue band around, we have our revs, and then we have our red line at the top. To the right we have traction control, we have the modes, and we have the ABS settings. Now if we press mode button on the switch gear, it highlights traction control, so we can press the up button or the down button. 3 is the most intrusive traction control, then we have number 2, then we have number 1, and then we have off. But what is also different about the V-Strom in comparison to the GSX 8S, which shares the same engine platform, with this bike, because it is an adventure bike, we do have a G mode for gravel. Then if we press mode again, it takes us to Suzuki's mode system, whereby we have A, which is the sportiest throttle response, we have B, which is more of a standard / street mode, and then we have C, which is their sort of comfort or rain mode. Then with ABS settings, we have 2. The second setting for ABS is geared more towards road riding, and then if we press up and hold it, it takes us to 1, which is ABS that is more sympathetic to going off-road. Just makes it a little less intrusive. And then if you want to switch it off altogether, you do have the option, which is great if you want to do a few more hardcore trails. And it gives you a message here saying ABS is off on the rear. Then if we look at the dash, we have our miles an hour nice and big in the centre. Next to that on the right, it says QS with a lightning bolt. That means that this bike has got a quick shifter and an auto blipper as standard. To the right of that, we have a super big gear indicator, which you guys know I love. Beneath that, we have our fuel range in terms of bars. And then below that, we have our information like odometer, battery voltage, temperature, trip 2, range until we run out of juice. One of the things I like about this dash is it's very easy to use, it's quite intuitive. You can pretty much see everything very clearly, and it is just a nice TFT dash. Looking at the dash, it is extremely pretty. It is a colour TFT, 5 inches at that. However, we don't have any Bluetooth connectivity with this bike. Now we're going to look at the height and the weight of this bike. So this bike is actually 5mm taller than my full height GS, which I wasn't expecting when I picked it up, and it certainly does feel the height that it is. I very much have to scotch a bum off to the side when I stop at lights on this bike. So the seat height is 855mm and it weighs 230 kilograms wet. If you watch this channel on the regular, you will know that I am a 5'4" lady with a 29-inch inside leg measurement, or inseam, however you want to phrase it. So this is what it looks like for me to sit astride the V-Strom. So as you guys can see, I'm very much off to the side to flat foot this bike, which is how I kind of stop at lights. I just kind of hop down like that. The suspension, as I mentioned, nice and bouncy, nice and soft. But yeah, if I want to put 2 feet down on this bike, say I'm to like sit in the middle, I dangle both sides. So it is quite a tall adventure bike. It feels a lot taller than my GS. I don't know whether that's because the seat on the GS is basically like an armchair that you just sink into, but yeah, it is certainly quite a tall adventure bike. Right guys, 230 kilograms. She is a Bertha. Let's see what she's like to push around. I mean, it's not the best terrain, I would say, for pushing. Not the best terrain at all. But it's manageable. I'd probably say it's about as difficult to push around as my GS, which isn't very difficult, to be fair. If you are still struggling with the seat height because maybe you're a little bit taller and this is too low, or maybe you're kind of short in the leg like me and you could do with all the help you can get, You do have aftermarket, I say aftermarket, genuine Suzuki OEM, but accessory should I say. You have accessory seats. There is a low one which reduces the height by 20mm, and there is a high seat which increases the height by 30mm. Both of the seats are roughly just under £130 each. So you do have options if you get this bike and you kind of just really want to fine tune it to your build. If you're considering accessories on your V-Strom 800DE, there is a lot on offer. So we have a tank pad which is £46, we have a DC socket again at £46, we have a side stand extension which is great for parking on the grass and sand and such like, that's £71. If you want to put fog lights on this bike, you're going to need an accessory bar for the LED lights. The bar itself is £294, and then on top of that the fog lights are £518. If you want a navigation bracket, that's £50. There's a brake pedal height adjuster which will cost £201. That will increase the height of the brake pedal by 10mm. You can put heated grips on this for £351. A high screen on it for £57, which makes it 80mm taller. If you want a centre stand, that's going to set you back at £220. An aluminium skid plate, £350. And then if you want luggage, I can't lie that it's not the cheapest luggage on the market. So if you want an aluminium top box and plate, that's going to cost you £785, and if you want aluminium side luggage, that's going to set you back £1,388. So in total you're looking at a smidge over £2,000 for the full aluminium setup. Might be worth having a look on the Jivvy website. Other things to note with this bike, we have a 3-year warranty and then a service activated warranty until the bike is 7 years old or has done 70,000 miles, and you get 1 year's roadside assist with it as well. Guys and girls, I hope you have enjoyed this walk around video on Suzuki's V-Strom 800DE. I want to know what you guys think about this adventure bike from Suzuki in the comments below. Do you like it? Have you ridden this bike yet? Just let me know your thoughts in general. I'm always curious to see what you guys think. And until the next time, take care and ride safe, guys. Bye. Hello. Oh, so cute. Hello, lovelies. Oh, aren't you lovely? This is the best photobomb ever.
What are you taking pictures of?
I'm just filming for YouTube.
Ah, right.
So I do like motorcycle reviews and walk rounds and in-depth look at the bike and like all the technology it has on it and stuff.
You're a girl.
I know, and that's my unique selling point, you see.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I've got to bring the sass amongst the men.
I'm in shock. You're
Really?
a woman. You're actually riding about. Oh my God.
Did you know, there's quite a few of us, but I suppose when you're in that circle, you see them all the time, but when you're on the road, you barely see them.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
nice.
yeah. Hi. Well, you guys have a lovely walk.
Yeah, we've got another mile of 5 before we reach the car.
Oh, bloody hell. Rather you than me. Having said that, riding on this surface isn't ideal.
Well, I wanted
You're
to
like,
drive it right up here, but she wouldn't let me. She said no.
yeah,
Walk.
keep the car in one piece.
Yeah.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Take care.
See you later. We have a 21-inch rear. No, we don't, it's a front. I literally said rear whilst pointing at the front. Duh. Whereas these look much more manageable. Sick wheelie, bro. Did I actually just say sick wheelie, bro, in front of a gang of guys? Awkward. Screen on it with black text.
Huh? You're not filming now, are you?
Yeah.
Well, you are?
Yeah, but it's fine.
Oh,
I can just edit it.
Is this for YouTube?
Yeah.
What's your channel name?
Username Kate.
Username Kate?
Yeah, you have to type username and then Kate. It's a bit weird, but yeah, I'm stuck with it now.
I'll find you.
Oh, awesome. See you.
Creepy way.
Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. Not in a creepy way, what a legend. Right guys, now I'm going to try and push it. It's not the best floor to be pushing it on, but we've got 230 kilograms and I ain't going to push it because it's in first gear. I am a 5'4" chihuahua. That was a bit of a random appearance. Can I be in your photo? No, but you can be in a YouTube video. You're going to rag it off? Like flip it. Don't flip it.